Welcome to the Catholic Table Talk podcast. This is where everything Catholic is on the table. New episodes Thursdays at 9 a.m. Eastern on most podcast platforms. Here's your host, William Sauber.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Thank you again for joining me here at Catholic Table Talk podcast. Another great episode today as we move towards Lent, the season of Lent. If you're watching, you can see I have a little purple short underneath my festival short. So again, it's Lent's coming. We are getting to not the end of ordinary time, but the end of it for now. And so again, this is an episode of what does God want for you in Lent? And this is a question that we always ask ourselves at the beginning of every Lent, and even Advent. But just, again, what is He wanting from you? What are you wanting most to do out of Lent? And we're going to talk a little bit about that as we move forward. And again, I'm kind of came up with like a 5 or 6 question list, a 5 or 6 list. But again, this is totally basically, it's up to you, which I will share in a little bit. First of all, again, please like, comment, subscribe, and share the show, as well as sponsorship, email us, partnership, donations. Find us at CatholicTableTalk.com. Also, speaker requests, show requests, CatholicTT@gmail.com. Thank you for today's sponsor again as we're continuing with Dr. George Seguma. Dr. George Seguma is a holistic health and healing family doctor. Find more at drgeorge.com. Again, drgeorge.com. He just emailed me again today saying Jesus is healing him, but he still needs our prayers. So please pray for Dr. George. Alright. So at the time of this recording, I'm having a little bit of a kind of dry throat right now, so this might be a little short episode to begin with. But again, like I said, this is only 5 or 6, the chart that I came up with. It's only like 5 or 6 of them. And again, I think you'll see why at the end of the show. And when I was coming up with it, first of all, I'm like, I can probably just go off of my experience from last year and kind of wing the show. And I'm like, yeah, man, I might as well do a little chart. And I can feel the Holy Spirit say, okay, put this down, put that down. So this is pretty good stuff here. So again, what does God want from you this Lent? And again, this is a question, right? I mean, this is maybe some of us are not even asking this question. What does God want from me? Maybe, what do I want from Lent? It's kind of like, again, if we're fasting, right? So during Lent, which is, again, Lent kind of concludes around Holy Thursday time, but, I believe, but, from Ash Wednesday, the first day of Lent, and then Good Friday, which is basically the end of Lent, in the Holy Triduum, is only 2 days that we're supposed to fast, right, of the year. We're not supposed to fast, we don't have to fast the rest of the year. But those are only 2 days we're supposed to fast. And again, if we don't lift it up, then it's technically kind of dieting, right? Same thing with Lent. It's like, well, I'm not going to eat so much so I can lose weight. Well, that's pretty much dieting if you're not lifting that up for something to the Lord. Which, I mean, I've done it before, and I've tried to lift stuff up, and I still forget to, and then it's kind of dieting. So, really kind of taking that next step and doing that, and that's just kind of a bonus thing I threw in there. But you know what I mean? It's kind of like, what do I want out of Lent, and what does God want from me this Lent, right? Because again, maybe it's not really spending much at the grocery store. Well, okay, at the end of the day, that's probably great, because maybe not spending as much on snacks and unhealthy food and just kind of wasteful spending. But again, if you maybe just put that in the savings account, maybe you are a couple $100 richer by the end of Lent, which is great, right? But maybe that money can be used for savings a little bit more. You could also save it, I should say, but also turn that into charity work during Lent, like with almsgiving, like we're supposed to do. So again, those are kind of two ideas that I think the Lord just got to mind right now. But yeah. So again, what do I want from that, and what does God want from me this Lent? That's kind of the question. And Father, we had Father David, can't remember his last name, but he was at our parish last year on Palm Sunday, and basically he said the same thing. Oh God, what do you want from me this? There's Palm Sunday, so Holy Week was just starting. What do you want from me this Holy Week? Asking that same thing. What does God want from me this Lent? So again, Lent coming right around the corner. Maybe you're watching, listening to this on Ash Wednesday or a day before or a couple days after Lent got started. Still looking for a thing to do? Great, glad to have you. So again, I threw out a couple scenarios and options, and let's get started with that. So basically, make goals that are high, but you can do and that will benefit you. Now again, you're like, oh wait, you said you can save money, but then if it's more for your gain, then maybe that's not great. Will benefit you in terms of spiritually, maybe of course being more in the faith, right? So spiritually and really kind of acts of charity. So again, make goals that are high, but you can do and that will benefit you in the long term. So again, if you're not really a big giver, maybe make a kind of loft and you can afford to give, right? That's the big thing, whether that's material things or wealth or whatever. Maybe make that a little higher, but then you might not reach it, but it would probably benefit you because at least you're trying. And I think overall, you probably hear this more than once in today's episode, is I think too, one of the biggest things about what God wants from you, let's let, is that you keep trying, right? You keep trying to get better. You're not trying to kind of be like, well, I reached my goal, and now we still got 15 days left to let, and maybe I'll do a few more, but I gave away so much amount of money to charities. Well, I'm gonna stop there, even though I can afford to give more, something like that. So again, it's really comes down to what you think. So again, this is a good question to meditate on, pray about, make goals that are high, but you can do, and that will benefit you in the long term. Again, spiritually, physically, physically in a good sense, right? You're not trying to look like the best guy or gal in shape in the county, but again, it's what benefits you spiritually, mentally, physically, just being over inside out, being a better person. So, I want to see Let as an opportunity, not as a grind. This is tough because we all know that Let is a very difficult season to maybe steal and kind of go through, right? You have to fast 2 days out of it. You have to abstain from meat if you don't do that already. On all Fridays, including Ash Wednesday as well. It's 40 days. It's kind of the middle of the week, so it's not like you wake up Monday morning, like in Exodus, you're like, off we go, it's like, and that's hard enough, that's 90 days. But again, it's only 40 days. Exodus 90, magnified 90 for the women. That's 90 days. That's over twice as long as Let. Easter season is longer than Let, The Advent is basically almost as long as Let. The Christmas season is basically as long as Let, So, it's like, man, 40 days doesn't seem like a long time, but it actually kind of is. Not really, we have like 32, 33 Sundays in ordinary time. Again, Let's like 6, 7, yeah. So, again, see it as an opportunity to do things and get better, and not as a grind, not like, again, ultimately, that's what kind of needs to happen, right? So, again, see it as an opportunity. It's only 40 days, and most likely you're going to be a little bit better at the end of it than you are going in. You should be, and that should be down the road. Again, if if you're addicted to something, you might still be addicted to it a little bit after, but maybe not as much, and it's easier to get out of that. Or you might be free from it from general. But again, it's 40 days. And it's not like, oh, okay, I'm gonna give up. Again, like going back to like grocery thing, I'm gonna give up, very extra spending and very wasteful spending, I should say. Instead of giving to charities, I'm spending on my own self. Well, after Let, I'm going to go back to myself. Well, again, that's not the ideal Let, right? That's not what Let is. But again, it's I guess, more enjoyable if you see it as an opportunity than as a grind. Same thing with the work week. If you love the job, you love a lot of people at your job even, and the day goes by better, it's probably the work goes better, right? So, same thing. So again, see Let as an opportunity, not as a grind, because, come on now, it's, only happens once a year. It's for us to get better, and again, that's how you embrace Let, otherwise you might not get as much out of it as well. And third, trust in God in every circumstance during Let, right? So again, whether you're hungry, whether you're tired, whether you're in that grind mode, you got life, right, which is very challenging, and then you have these seasons in the church that make it kind of seem like less with opportunity, but it makes it seem like it's more challenging, because it's like maybe you're going through a very tough moment or decision in your life, and then Let comes along, and you're like, oh, geez, now I gotta really kind of deny myself more, and I can't do it. I don't see God's plan for it. Again, trust in God through the process, trust in God. Again, be honest, be open, meditate on it, ask Him what He wants from you. And second, be open to change, because again, Let is about changing our lives. It's fasting, prayer, and almsgiving, turning back to Him, going back to Him, and whether that's going back to Mass, going back to confession, going back to Mass, just going back to Him in general in prayer life, right? So be open to change, and He might ask you to do more before, during, or after Let even. And again, come back to Him with all your heart, because again, personally, I can see God wanting that more than anything, right? Come back to Him with all your heart, being open to change, trusting Him, see Let as an opportunity, make goals that are high but that will benefit you. And again, He wants to see you try, right? Because He's coming after you, He's calling you by name, He's looking for you, the lost sheep. But if you're not willing to look for Him, if you're going down that same dark path, then what are you getting out of Let? So, and it's tough. Like I said, it's tough to stick with it after Let. It's kind of like a New Year's resolution, right? It's 2 weeks in, you quit already, and I think maybe that's why people think Let's so tough, because it's 40 days instead of maybe just a week. Soon we'll hopefully get Jason Walk from the Martyrs Walk. He's going to talk about a challenge that we can do you can do during Let, and that's really a grind, not a grind, but it's very demanding, I should say. So we're going to talk to him about that. It's coming up on one of the shows in the future here. But again, what does God want from you this Let? And really, overall, I have this big in my page here in big bold letters. This is basically between you asking God what He wants from you. So ask Him during this weekend's Mass or this weekday's Mass, ask him in your prayer day. Keep asking him maybe the rest of the week. Because Let is just about here. And I mean, I know I was going to talk a little bit about my story from last year, and I think we still have a little bit of time here. We got a few minutes. Is that, last Let. So what was it? 2 years ago, I had a very awesome Let. I just think I was kind of more, I kind of wanted more of a Let. I kind of denied myself more than I usually do and I have in the past. And, boy, when that Easter Sunday came, I was full of joy and I was felt change. Again, I went back to some of my old ways. Again, we're human, that's what we do. But the thing is to keep drawing closer to God, trying to be closer to Him so you not leave Him and not hopefully go back to your ways, especially other ones, the ways that really hurt you, the sinful ways, the, destructive ways. So again, 2 years ago, Let was very, very good for me. I felt very great about Let. Last year, I actually planned really well. I'm not a big planner. Like I said, I was going to kind of talk about my experience doing Let a little bit more, or, last year and kind of wing the show, but I'm like, hey, I think the Holy Spirit's like, again, jot down some notes for us. So again, I'm not a big planner, right? I mean, so, but I was last year doing Let. And basically my resolution doing Let was basically listen to a lot of podcasts about the faith. Listen to a lot, prayer apps and make sure you're getting your daily rosary in, your divine mercy chaplet, you fast a little bit more, you do this, whatever, right? So again, my expectation, my goals were set. I was thinking this is going to be a good Let. Again, it's challenging, like it always is, but I was thinking it's going to be a good Let. And then, it was, but it was not. What I mean is that I think I had too much good stuff going on and not enough time in quiet prayer with God. I was learning more about God, the church, the faith, right? I mean, the faith in general from all these great podcasts. But I just felt like, again, I wasn't jotting down notes to maybe keep it more fresh in my mind. I wasn't, maybe changing as much as I should have after listening to them. I mean, some of the things I learned about the stuff in the Bible or, whatever, I thought was really great. Well, again, I didn't feel like I was really being open with God. I was kind of like, again, this is for me, which is great. I'm learning about all this great stuff, but again, after 40 days of listening to all these podcasts at work and at home for hours, and it kind of boring me out to a degree in terms of, again, I'm not having this quiet time with God. I'm not really like, okay, God, what, maybe this is not working what you want me to do, and again, I loved it, right? But I felt like I could have done a little bit more last year. I did good things. That's a good thing last year, don't let everyone does. But again, it's all about finding joy Easter Sunday morning, which, to be fair, pretty much I think a lot of people find joy in Easter if you do kind of give stuff up during that and you kind of make a little bit of an effort. But if you really make an effort, like 2 years ago, I'm not patting myself on my back here, folks, but it was kind of like, I could feel I kind of denied myself more. I kind of left stuff up more, whatever, and I felt more joyful. Well, last year I was joyful, but it was kind of like, okay, I kind of need to maybe slow back on the Lord I expect and just really kind of like, do more works of charity or spiritual works of mercy or whatever, couple works of mercy, I should say, and spiritual. But do that stuff more than maybe what I was doing more. Because again, learning about the faith is good, but if that's all you're doing and you're kind of leaving God out of it in terms of more devotedly prayer and really, I mean, again, there's a fine line. So I'm just saying that's where I felt like I kind of not messed up, but I felt like it wasn't as good. So again, we have lets like that. But again, just being open to God, what God says, and what does God want from you this let. Again, that's between you and God. Again, if you're eating a lot, maybe you can cut down. If you're not giving, you can give more. If you're not, again, people say, oh, you're a great person. I'm like, yeah, but I'm still a sinner. So I didn't tell you to do all this too, but I'm working on this stuff too. So again, you're not alone. I'm with you on here. So again, really, before Lent starts, take some time in silence and prayer. Offer up at Mass. What do you want me to do all this? What do you want from me this Lent, Lord? And keep at it throughout the Lent. Keep at it after Lent. Because again, after Lent, I'm like, okay, well, I can listen to a few of these podcasts, but then I kind of fade from them, and we maybe do to a degree, but, because we're all sinful human beings, that's our nature, we still fall, we still fade away to a degree, sometime in our life, and or after a very, the season is very, set on one thing, and we're kind of like to do other things, right? So yeah. So that's what it's going back to God and offering up and seeing what He has for you. So let us know in the comments what you think of the show, if that was a good one or not. Again, I can't tell you what to do for that, because I don't know what you are going through, what you're dealing with. So that's really up to you. Pray for me doing that. I'm praying for you, and again, see it as an opportunity, not as a struggle. So, it's one of the best probably times of the year, right? We turn back to God with our heart. That's what we try to, and like I said, if He sees us trying, probably, and we become better human beings, even if we don't keep all the stuff afterwards. Oh, I was gonna say too, but that's what I mean. Like after that, it was kind of like, I don't think I really listened to as many podcasts. I don't know if it's because that was over. I just kind of went back to listening to music, because it's just kind of like, okay, that's over. But I should keep trying to get better. So anyway, hopefully you enjoy it. So let me know, like, comment, subscribe, review, and again, have a great Lent. Stay with us during Lent for more. We kind of think we're going to do a little more of Lenten shows like we did last year. We kind of did a few shows on Lent as Lent starts, so I think we're going to do maybe the same this year. Or in terms of very more, like so we're going to have Jason on. He's going to talk about a challenge, and we're having, quite a few newer guests on it as well, and guests we have not had on in a while, so they're coming back, so can't wait for that. Again, thank you for your time today. God bless. God willing, we'll see you next week. Stay grace, go to the sacraments, and again, share this show with someone, and keep us strong during Lent. And again, we'll see you next time on Catholic Table Talk.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Catholic Table Talk podcast, where everything Catholic is on the table. Don't forget to subscribe to Catholic Table Talk on your favorite podcast platform to get new episodes delivered directly to you every Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern.